Yeah, 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 yeah. Lost and found, I lost and found myself. I didn't know how to track myself. I don't know why you be going down itself. Why you be down, talking about yourself. I appreciate talking about the feelings, and you know my feelings when I reach a million. Alright guys, thank you guys for joining me on this edition of Space Mode in the VTalks podcast. Just to be brief about it, so Space Mode, to give you guys an idea of what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about everything that involves our spaces, whether it's around us, in space in the sky, or any other unknown space. So I want to just be straight up to you guys and say that if you guys are listening to this, you are a survivor. All this coronavirus stuff is getting crazy. It's getting scary, I know that some states are reopening stuff now, but all I can say is you got to do your part. If you guys want to go back to, doing your regular stuff in life, going to malls, interacting with people, do your part. Wear gloves, wear mask, have hand sanitizer, have a good hygiene. You got to really be clean, safe, and make sure that you think about others. Whether, you're walking somewhere and the person around you looks dirty, well, avoid situations like that. You guys got to be clean. You got to be safe. And also, don't discriminate in these times. I know that there's been places where people are being discriminated because they're either their ethnicity, in this case, whether they're Asian or black, because there's ignorant people that are saying that, the virus comes from certain races. And I mean, thanks to the president we have, a lot of people even believe that more because he says the Chinese virus, and my opinion that I can give you guys, and from what I know, the virus did come from China, the Wuhan virus at least. But coronavirus has been out since 2002. And for those that don't know, originally we gave it as SARS, and now we have SARS-2, and we have coronavirus 2. These are different strains of the DNA of the coronavirus. Now, what we have now around is called the COVID-19. Something to give you guys a little conspiracy thing. I know and hardly believe that we all have the coronavirus. We all have COVID-19. But what happens? When you go to the hospital, you start getting injected with things that the government purposely have hospitals be giving to people. You may say, oh, it's just saline, it's just, cough medicine, this and that. Yes, it is true, but they're also putting stuff in the saline and in other things you're taking that they don't tell you. Why? Because the government is controlling the population. And I don't know if you guys got taught in school or not, but there's new money and old money, and what's going on right now is the biggest transition in our history where old money is being taken over by new money. And sadly, a lot of people are dying, and a lot of people are going to keep dying because this coronavirus thing is out of hand. I believe it is man-made, and I can give you some proof that it came from a military base here in the U.S., actually really close to where I live. I don't want to mention its name because I don't know, I just feel like if I were to talk in detail, this podcast might not be able to be public for you guys. I had a couple podcasts that I had made for you guys to keep you updated on the coronavirus, but there was issues with YouTube for some reason. It wasn't letting me. I don't know. To me, it seemed like I spoke some very specific things in conspiracies that maybe that's the reason why. I had it uploaded, and then when it was about 99%, it said error, it couldn't do it because of copyright reasons, blah, blah, blah. So I really said, screw that. I didn't want to do it again. I don't know, it was just a rough time. This was about a month ago, a little bit more actually. Um, and, it's just a lot of things were going on in my personal life as well. And the government really wants to control our population, guys. They really want to know what we're doing, where we're going. And I personally don't have a problem with them knowing so much about us. The problem is when they start telling you, no, you can't do this, you can't go here, you can't eat this, you can't do this, Why? Because technically we're supposed to have freedom. We're in the land of the free, but they want to control us. I don't get that. Do you get that? I get it in countries like China where the government used to be communist and now, they still have that spirit in there and they want to control. But we're a world of humans where we all have feelings, we all have opinions, and we should all have the freedom of speech, the freedom to let you know what we want to do, what not to do, Now, I'm not saying I'm okay with communism or stuff like that, because there's an extent where people pass the limit and they abuse its power, and that's where it's wrong. The world is filled with a lot of different ideas, different opinions, different thoughts, and all I can say is that as something we're seeing now, like they said, ever since the coronavirus, ever since the coronavirus stuff been put in place, as in like, cities being shut down, that they've been saying that pollution levels have lowered down. And that's good to hear, In my opinion, in my case, like, I'm a person who needs oxygen. I suffer from a lot of allergies, and even doctors said that the world is so dirty that by a certain age, I'll probably need an oxygen tank because there won't be enough oxygen levels in the air for me to be able to breathe. I know there's conditions like that with a lot of people, but it's like, damn, man, for me to be thinking that I'm going to be old one day and not be able to breathe because there's not enough oxygen, that's insane. And if you're doing your part by cleaning the pollution levels right now and, eliminating pollution in general, I appreciate that. And I advise you guys to keep doing that, because this world is our home, like it or not. And I know for a fact people don't like living in a dirty home. I mean, yeah, there's people that are dirty, but would you rather live in a clean house than a dirty house? I don't know. Write in the comments below. Let's see what you guys think. All this coronavirus stuff is freaking a lot of people out. I know this one person who is literally afraid to go out. They don't let their son out, not even to work, and he could come work. People are dying left and right, honestly. This is something that we probably never really expected, but for my generation and people younger that are experiencing this is a wonderful lifetime experience. Like, we all read about it in history, how there's pandemics, there's massacres, there's all this, and, now it's happening. The reason why I say population control a lot is because our government likes to do that. For example, you have places like Detroit, New York, the Bronx, Brooklyn. Here in the DMV area, you have like Alexandria. You have these places that we consider ghetto. But the government, really what they're doing is just, they like to divide classes. They like to divide poverty. Now, don't blame it all on the government. Don't be like, oh, the government made me be like this. You choose to be the way you are. If you choose to live a ghetto life and be poor, and it's your fault, Yeah, it's hard to, work out, not work out as in physically, but work out mentally, and get stronger financially and all that, because there's situations where it's tough, but it's not impossible. Your obstacles sometimes look impossible, but you can simply jump over them or break even through them. Population control is something they've been doing it for years. If you guys read the Bible, you can see God even did that. There was times where there was villages and cities that denied God's power, and God said, no, that's not right. And like that, things had to change. And now, sadly, the way things are now, first of all, I can say is that everything you see on the media is exaggerated. Why? It's because here in the US, the media likes to scare people on purpose, give paranoid. I mean, it's very simple to understand that what the media wants to do is a revolution against the government. I mean, it's all I can say, history repeats itself. And for me, that kind of scares me because there's people out there. For example, the other day there was a march in DC, a protest. And these people are protesting saying that, we don't need to wear masks. We should be free to do whatever we want. Like, it's our decision if we want to be safe. Yeah, that's cool, but are you stupid? How are you going to go without a mask to, for example, a nursing home or a hospital where there could be a virus? And I get it. There's people that be like, oh, I won't get it. Right, you won't get it, but you don't know if you have this bacteria, this germ, this DNA on your clothes, and then somebody else touch it and they get sick because of your stupidity. And that's how I say people get sick. It's the small amount of action that is taken in place for people to get sick. Like, you guys got to be clean. You guys got to be safe. And it's not just about being clean, but it's about being smart. You got to really think twice before you do something now. No. Like I said, I've been working, so I'm out and about all the time. Yesterday, I had to go somewhere near Baltimore. And here in Maryland, in Baltimore, there's been a lot of cases, apparently. So it's the part of Baltimore that it's in the eastern part of Baltimore, and I don't want to say it's ghetto, but it's definitely not like nice. That place is a spot where there's usually a lot of shootings, definitely a lot of robberies. There's a lot of homeless people as well, and I don't know. If for me, I just thought, oh, this place looks dirty, and I started getting paranoid. Imagine other people, like, just because things seem a certain way doesn't mean it is. I mean, obviously, some things will be obvious, so you got to be smart, but don't just go to judge, because there's people that are, like, people are forgetting that there's still homeless people. There's still people that don't have ability to clean themselves or do stuff like that because of, not only because before they didn't have a job or a home, but now it's even harder because, we can't do much. There's homeless shelters that are closed, all this stuff. All I can say is that if you see somebody that needs help, be smart and help them. Don't be a bad Samaritan. Don't be a bad person. You got to be good to everybody around you. Together we can overcome this. Together we can once again be able to go back out and enjoy this beautiful weather that we're going to start having. Um, it's time that we act as together. We act as one. And I'm grateful that we have this planet. This planet is beautiful. It gave us life. It gives us life every day, and thanks to it, we are able to do the stuff we do. And I believe that it's time for a lot of people to be more grateful about this world, this planet. Not just that, be grateful about others too. You know, I get it. There's some people that you dislike, this and that, but be grateful that they exist because you're able to feel all these things because of other people, whether it's hate, love, funniness, whatever it is. So the reason why I wanted to do this space mode is because something cool. I personally love space, like in the sky, the moon, the stars, the planets, the asteroids, the galaxy. It's just beyond crazy. I don't know if you guys seen, but 2 days ago, which was actually on Wednesday, I believe, the Pentagon released some videos. This is crazy, and it's kind of funny at the same time and ironic because, you know, the Pentagon has all this high technology, all this stuff, and they released a video of a UFO that all you see the colors are black and white. You see a little dot that looks like a saucer, and then like how come they never have HD videos? Like they're able to film, a HD video of a plane or stuff like that. Even people going to the moon, well, to the sky, with rockets, but they can't film UFO in HD. Like, come on, seriously. But they released a video of a UFO, and in other words, the U.S. government admitted that there's aliens out there and that we're not alone. I love this because I've read, the Emerald Tablets, books of Enoch, all this stuff, and they talk about, the Anunnaki especially talk about how not only they will return, but other beings will return to Earth as well. And I'm not saying that we're going to have something like, aliens walking with us right now, but you don't know. You don't know if the person next to you is an alien. I mean, if it's your husband or your wife, that's on you to figure it out. But there's a lot of different things that go on, and all I can say is that we haven't been on this earth alone, and the reason why is because of something called evolution. Now, by me saying that, please don't be stupid and think that, oh, we evolved from monkeys, because we really don't. There is some people that are closer to genetic genes to monkeys, but we don't. I think it's called the Homo erectus. That's what some people are, and we're Homo sapiens. But, do your own research on that if you want to know if you really descend from monkeys or not. I mean, I know I don't. But like I said, there's been different races throughout history, and we have all evolved. Humans before used to, ride horses. Now we have cars. Now we have phones. Like all this stuff. Like we might not evolve physically, but we evolved mentally and we evolved material wise. And that's awesome that we're able to do all this stuff. And I don't know. All I can say is that evolution is real. Now, the way Darwin brought the philosophy of evolution, Darwinism, and all that, like we really don't evolve from monkeys. I mean, I get it. Some people, when they think about it, it's a racist thought, but we don't. We have, darker people, whiter people, because we have different pigments in our skin. We have melanin, all this stuff that are properties to what we are, to the color of our skin, to the color of our eyes, the color of our hair, the texture of our body, our hair, all that, And UFOs, all I can say, are real. There is stuff out there. There's species with us walking day by day, and they're humans to us because that's what we all look like. At the end of the day, we all have that human genetic gene, and we all are the same. You know how people say we all come from Africa. Well, they're not wrong. We all do come from Africa. We all do come from the continent. We all, at one point, our ancestors were there. And, the reason why they say that is because that's where we have the most historic briefings from. And I don't know. In my opinion, I don't believe we all just come from Africa, but that's where most people learn to evolve and, build cities like Egypt and all these ancient cities. And that's where most population was. I believe that people are from all over the world. And I mean, look at places like Peru. They have natives that look natives as hundreds of years ago their natives looked like. You know, but come on, Pentagon. Next time you give us a UFO video, make sure it's HD. Like that'd be cool. Imagine seeing like a HD video where you see flying saucer, because that's what they're probably gonna always show us, and you see a little alien there looking ugly, waving at us. That would be hilarious. But I don't know. I love UFOs. I love thinking about alien life. I know there's a lot of stuff out there. And the crazy part is that a lot of people are like, oh, but you're saying aliens are real. Think about this. if you ever find an insect, zoom in on it with your camera or get some type of microscope and check this bug out. And you'll see that they look crazy like alien, like something out of a movie. One time there's this grasshopper. I think it was like a grasshopper. I don't know. He was just, in the window, and I could see him from the other side. And I zoomed in with the camera and I put it really close to him. And I was amazed to see all these textures he had on his body. It looked like he was an alien with armor on, ready to fight in war. And I was like, wow, this is just crazy. Like, this is awesome. Um, you know, we're worried about what aliens are going to look like. And I wouldn't be surprised if they look like us. Why? Because evolution. Everywhere you are, your body, your physical appearance will adapt to what it's around it. And, once heard that they said Asian people have, their eyes are the way they are because um, originally Asian people lived in high altitudes, and due to gravity and all these things, their eyes had to form the way they were. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, it makes sense. It could make sense, but what I'm trying to say is that, whether you live in a high place or a low place or a place near the water, there's going to be different physical appearances because of it. I don't know. The day that we see UFOs up close is the day that world will be completely different. I can say that eventually we're going to hit a time in our lives, and I can say, give you a rough idea, it's like maybe 50 years from now, and you're going to start literally working with robots. You're going to work with other beings, things that you never really imagined. And I don't know if you guys ever heard about reptilians, about, uh, you know, titans. There's different species out there. And speaking about that, I don't know if you guys seen this movie called Titan. Well, in that movie, it kind of sums up what I'm talking about, evolution and all that. There's this guy who they're going to send him, he's an astronaut, they're going to send him to this planet, I believe it's called Titan. Uh, and basically, in order for this guy to be sent out there here on Earth, they have to train him in these facilities to adapt to what the environment is going to be like in that planet. So he does, and he literally starts evolving into this blue creature until, his lungs change. Everything in his body literally changes, and he becomes almost like a superhuman. But it's really an alien. But with that, you can see that, we have so much to learn. The human body is a lot more than what we think. And all I can say is that the day we do learn everything, we're going to realize that there's still a lot more to learn. I really was trying to keep you guys updated with this coronavirus stuff, but I don't know. I thought that, it's a subject that people don't really want to listen to at the same time. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been posting stuff then and there about the coronavirus. I've been even, uh, giving you guys conspiracy ideas of things that I think. And all I can say is that, getting back to talking about coronavirus, like I said, a lot of people are going to die. And it's sad to think that. I recently saw on Facebook that somebody that I once knew passed away from the virus, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, yesterday I was with my boss, and he was saying how he thinks the coronavirus is not real, that it's fake, that people aren't dying. And I understand his point of view, but the truth is people are dying, and this virus is real. Like, whether it's human made or all these things you want to hear, it is real and people are dying. So practice social distancing, be safe, and just try to team up. We need to do this together, guys. We can't just let the world do it by itself. We need to help. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are scared. Don't be scared. There's no reason to be scared. I mean, yeah, the virus is scary, but it's not something that you need to be scared. When you're scared, you don't act smart. And we need people to do smart things and act smart and be ready for what's going to come. Um, all this stuff that people are talking about, the virus, the stock market, all this, to me is just a distraction. Um, there's pretty much war going on in the South Chinese Sea, and nobody talks about that. China has been building artificial islands for years, and they took advantage of what they were allowed to do, and they built airport military bases. Like, for some reason, China's trying to build the biggest military ever. And our President Trump said something unique. If Joe Biden wins the election, China will own the United States. And I don't know, to me, that's kind of scary. I know Joe Biden is going to be our president, just letting you guys know. He is going to be the next president of the United States of America. And I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know. We're going to go back into a transition where, secret societies will be running the government again. Joe Biden, I believe he's a skull and bones. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to get into the topic that because I honestly don't know but I know he's part of secret societies. Um, you know, give you guys an idea of different societies. We have Freemasons, we have Skull and Bones, we have the Bohemian Grove, we have the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are really a society, but they're more that. We have the Fellowship. I'm actually part of the Fellowship. The Fellowship isn't really, well, it all depends. Um, but I'm saying, there's different societies that people that are in the government are part of. And I know a lot of people hear Freemasons and the Freemasons have a bad rep, but not all Freemasons are bad. There's different divisions where, people have the freedom to practice darker things than others. Um, I was hearing the other day a teacher of mine say that, you know, they practice magic, they do all these things that were practice alchemy, but there's people out there that do it for the wrong reasons, for the bad reasons, that they want bad to happen. Just as there's good, there's evil wherever you're at. And, you know, let's just hope and pray that good will keep happening here in the US, that not just in the US, around the world. Like, there's governments that are so corrupt. Like, Argentine government is corrupt, Venezuela is corrupt, even China. Right now, we don't know what's going on with North Korea. And I personally am worried about that really big, because if North Korea's Kim Jong-un is dead, like they're saying, I read that they said they believe 99% that he's dead. If he really is dead, I don't know what's going to happen. Either China's going to take over them and a whole world's war is going to happen, or I don't know. I just hope that the actions that are going to be taken about that situation are very maturely thought and are the right decisions. I believe North Korean people deserve some freedom, deserve to be part of the rest of the world, but, you know, I hope the right decision is made. I don't know much what's been going on in sports. I know there's a lot of sports that have been canceled. Um, there's so much that hasn't really been going on because of the virus. Most people that can work, and others stay home. Um, I'm gonna definitely try to come back on Monday with another podcast for you guys. I know this one's a little bit shorter than my other ones, maybe not really, but I just wanted to make this to really get out there to talk to you guys a little bit. I know that I kind of jumped everywhere in this podcast and talked a little bit about just random things. But stay tuned to my next podcast. I'm going to try to be more detailed and um, more understanding for you guys. I definitely want to apologize to all of you guys that have been tuning in before and waited for me to post and I wasn't able to. It's just things got really tough, and I'll be honest with you guys. A lot of emotional things have happened, and you know, I don't want to say depression got to me because it really didn't. But there's days where I feel more confident about myself, and days I don't, and that's something I'm working on. Um, and it's just a moment of time for me. It's a moment of time for things to get better and healing to happen. And I believe things are going to get better, and we're going to be able to do things again. So I really appreciate those guys and girls and people and doggies, aliens listening to me. I definitely want to have more interaction with you guys. If you guys are tuning in and either want to be part of this podcast or have ideas or want me to talk about something, definitely shoot me an email, send me a DM, comment below, and we'll start doing work. Like, this podcast is something that I know I'm going to get all around the world, and I can't do that without you guys. So, you know what to do. Follow, subscribe, like, share, comment, do what you got to do. Help me out. If you guys have music that you want people to listen to or stuff like that, send it to me, DM me, email me, do what you got to do. I'll definitely try to put it on my podcast. I can do some podcast videos and where we have a little segment where we review a song or a video. So definitely, do what you got to do to get in contact with me, and let's do this together. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Um, I'm definitely going to have something for you guys this week. It won't be on Friday. It'll be earlier this week. And then hopefully by the end of this week coming up, I'll be able to get back in track for you guys. And we're tuning in back to every Friday with VTalk. And, we'll move on from there. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys enjoy this little VTalk we had today. The first edition, an intro to space modes. And, stay positive, stay smart, and let's do this together, guys.